Hey everybody, welcome to the Kerbal Space Program with the Daily Kerbal. I put the Vision Pursuer up into orbit again to dock it with the space station. Going to be done in a second, but before that happens, I want to show you something. I think I finally nailed this. This is my Osprey 4 series, I believe, reusable rocket that I built. It's the largest one, highest delta V, very useful, very successful so far. And in the last flight that I performed, I did that off camera to put our upcoming Eve spaceship to dock with the station. I sent it up using this spacecraft and landed it flawlessly. And I'm hoping to recreate that here today. We're firing the secondary landing engines, and one of the new things about this one is that it has air brakes. Help slow it down in the air a little bit. I found that this actually works miracles. I apologize for the dark, but here, if I do this, you can, even on darker settings, you can see the outlines at the very least. And we actually, considering that the payload that we delivered this time, the Vision Pursuer, is actually a lot... it's a lot lighter than our current payload, than the one we sent up previously. It means that we actually sent it farther away, and I don't have to worry about maneuvering us over dry land this time, which I did with the last one, because I wanted to see if I could actually, like, legit land it. And I did. I landed it perfectly. It didn't have any lander legs or anything. I used these winglets, the space shuttle winglets. Since we're coming in over dry land this time, we got to be a bit more careful. And once again, the weight being in the bottom of the spacecraft, of the rocket, actually does help with keeping it stable. I put the large RCS engines on. They burst through monopropellant like a what was my metaphor here? I believe it was like a Hummer through gas. I'm just gonna try and keep slowing us down until we get to the point where we can deploy the chutes. I can see the land. It's starting to come out in the dark already. It's admittedly a pretty rocky area that we're going to be setting down on. So the ship might... I can see a mountain below us. So that's bad news. It's pretty bad news. And maybe you can see it too by now. Like a lot of open fields that I could have tried to direct this onto. But no, actually this looks fairly okay. I really hope you can see this. I'm sorry if you can't, but if not, then just trust me, it's working very well. Any second now, the parachutes are going to deploy fully. Come on. Any second now. Actually, there we go. Full deployment. Slowed down. We got 6 parachutes slowing down this behemoth. I don't remember if I actually showed you this rocket yet. I don't think so. I don't actually keep tabs on my previous episodes all that well, I'll be honest. But we're coming in. We're coming in pretty nice. 18 meters per second, so we're falling pretty significantly, but we also have a ton of extra fuel to help us with this, setting this down. So I'm gonna use it right about now. Yep. There we go. We're right over land. Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I'm sure you can see this now. It's a bit tipsy, but the winglets actually function very well as lander struts. So once again, let me recover this and see how well we did. I haven't figured out exactly how this works yet. Some of the math is a bit off here. More on that in a minute. Just let's see the numbers first. Okay, so we received 150,000 funds from the recovered parts, which is less than I received last time. We got like less than half of the full rocket's cost back. And I feel like the reason for that, what's the reason? The liquid fuel engine. Get a lot less money back on the liquid fuel engine. Or not necessarily, we actually got back more than its value. How is that possible? Anyway, this all I need to look into this, into you know, just what's going on here, because I assume that there's some like wear and tear here, and the distance at which that we landed it away from KSP also has something to do with how much money we get back from it. But at any rate, I can now land rockets, and I can do it pretty reliably, so this is going to be a huge thing for us, hopefully, in the future. And the Vision Pursuer is docked. Just give it a second for the magnets to click. There we go. All right, so this is just me, you know, mixing up the useful with the, well, actually a bunch of useful stuff together. So we need to send a spacecraft up into orbit to the space station in order to collect the crew that will return from Eve. That's our mission today. We're going to fly out to Eve. And then the ship also has to obviously, the crew has to be carried back down. Also, I think we forgot some science experiments in the on this ship a while ago. We should probably collect those and take them down too. Got to remember to do that. But as long as we're up here, I figured that I would get another contract, since you know, we're performing orbital flights fairly regularly now. I brought some tourists up. Tourists who have the mission of orbiting Kerbin. So we're going to land them, take them home with the crew once they get back. In a couple of years, these tourists are going to be spending years up here. I know it's probably not very good for business, but hey, what you going to do? And then the next thing that we need to do is refill this fuel tank. Let's see. Yes, there we go. Got all the Delta V's that we need to get to Eve. Planets are already in the right position, so I think we're ready. The crew is also 1, 2, 3. Yep, we got Carrie is also a new individual. It's another thing that I decided to do. As long as we were sending another vessel up into orbit, I sent 2 pilots and I believe an engineer or one of the other 2 in order to catch Carrig, who is going to be. We're going to save them, right? They were lost out here in orbit again somehow, and so that's another contract that we're going to complete. We're completing a lot of contracts. I'm trying to get that, and you know, to make sure that we don't run out of funds. All the rocket recovery and stuff. We're still going to have to do things to pay the bills if we want this to be a functional enterprise. But enough talk. Let's get on our way to Eve. Ship is undocked now. I think I had the torque wheels deactivated. No, I did not. Okay. Well, small RCS burst pushes away from the station. I think we'll soon be ready to make our burn. I'm actually turn the RCS off. Don't waste monopropellant fuel. Now, we do technically, hopefully, have all the Delta V's that we need. I'm a bit skeptical, but, I mean, the math says I'm doing this right. So really the only thing that can mess up right now is my flying. So, in other words, we're doomed. This is going to be a simple mission. We're going to head out there. We're going to collect all the science that we can. We're going to get into orbit, hopefully. And then we're going to come home. Simple as that. Let's plot our course. Target. Eve. I think I saw something over there. That is a bit far away. Can I fix that by moving our burn node a bit closer in? It looks like we get caught by the moon there if I do that. Yeah. Stupid moon. Alright. Give me a second, guys. Alright, I got us a vector. We don't have an encounter, but that's what course corrections are for. Let's just start burning. Got about a 1-minute burn ahead of us, so this should be right on the money. 950 delta V. Just like my chart said. Oh, it was more like 990, but I did, you know, leave us some room for error. Our total delta V is above 3,000, and it should take like 2,500 total to do a trip there and back if, you know, if my cheat sheet is to be believed. We're a bit ahead of the mark right now, so I'm going to decrease the throttle a bit. So the part of the game that is just riveting. I know, I say that a lot. I mean, this is not a... I understand that this is not an easy game to watch. And it's an even more daunting game to play, I'm sure. Trust me, I've been there. Alright, look at that. We're right on the money, pretty much. So how we doing? I don't see if we have an encounter. It looks like we do not. Oh well. I think that might be something that we can fix. We're gonna have to rely on fixing it with a course correction because look at all that fuel that I've wasted. Let's go. Let us be off. Days go by. Long, long days. I think I burned a little too far. That's probably what happened. I'm gonna have to burn towards the radial out vector probably to get us closer, but we'll find out. We'll find out when we get to that point. Should be right here. Alright. Now, and again, another problem here is that Eve's orbital path is a bit different, so something we're also going to have to account for. Okay, give me an encounter. Okay, there was an encounter. Alright. Oh wow, that's a lot of delta V. I missed it. Darn it. There we go. Okay. See how we're doing. We're not going to be coming in equatorial because the... Oh, no, bring it back. Okay, I'm not sure how close we want to get, but I don't insist on... Don't insist on getting us into, you know, full equatorial orbit. Just orbiting the planet will be more than enough for me. I'd like to adjust this a bit if you don't. We'll use monopropellant fuel. All right, point us in that direction, and then let's burn this 250 meters per second delta V. Oh my gosh, this is gonna hurt. This is really gonna hurt. Still have 2,000, so we should do fine. Technically, we can get a low orbit. All right, bring it in nice and slow. Don't want to overdo this. Okay. Periapsis, 1.5 million. Okay, now activate RCS. Okay, that is doing something, so that's good. See how close we can bring it in. I want us close enough to scoop out of the atmosphere. 600,000 is low space. Wow. That can't be right. Atmosphere on this planet can't possibly be that high. Mass, ASL, escape velocity. Atmospheric characteristics. Atmosphere height is 90,000 meters. Okay, yeah, that sounds more agreeable. Okay, let's get us all the way down to, yeah, 110. Sure, 110. And now we just fly and hope for the best. Here it comes. I can also, I think, yeah, I should get rid of that maneuver node now. We don't need it. There, okay. Don't need any more lines confusing us. Okay, slow us down a bit. Alright, here comes the encounter. Beak. Here we go. Now, I'm going to come in at a very slow orbit for now. I'm just going to speed up as it gets closer, so I got to get ready to slow us down. Right about now is where it's going to start. Yep. Originally, I had the idea to carry some probes with me to leave behind here as, you know, communications. I figured I was trying to do too much at once. Okay, so this basically means that our flyby is initiated. Yep. Alright. Now, give us a retrograde. Please turn the RCS off. We need that. Although, we have plenty of monopropellant, admittedly. Okay. Quick save. Let's get in orbit. Okay, we got in orbit. Now, before I burn any further, let me take a look at my cheat sheet again and see how much we need to get back home. We need 950 to orbit Kerbin, although we can just, you know, get into atmosphere. But getting out of a low orbit means 100. We want to save about, like, kind of like, 2,000, like exactly as much delta V as we have. That's how much we want to save. So I'm just going to leave it here. I'm not going to bother doing anything else. As long as we're in low orbit out here, let's do science. That's what we're here for. Let's get a crew report. Keep it. And we're doing this for RP at this point. We don't actually need the science. We have everything on the tree, but let's do it anyway. Let's gather gravity data. Gather the barometer. Mystery goo. Seismic data is defunct. There we go. Take that. Okay, you can close the bay now. Take a crew report. Oh, we already have one. Right. Okay, then what we need is an EVA report. And that'll work nicely with our science. We're going to get the scientist out there to reset the experiments. We can reperform those in high altitude. Not that we really need to or anything. Let's just collect these, make sure they're all in the pod. Collect data, remove, restore. Take data. Take data. Take data. Alright. Close the doors. And then I believe I also brought with us a science lab. There we go. Let's observe the materials bay. Alright, keep that. Collect. Restore. And then while you're out here, take an EVA report. Perform the spacewalk. And that's that. Alright, Eve Explorer has pretty much accomplished its mission at this point. We should transmit some science data home so we get that part of the contract complete as well. Let's review the report. Yeah, let's send the crew report back home. Oh, comms. Sorry. Report. Okay, transmit it now. There we go. Could have just extended that by yourself, really, but whatever. Alright. So that means that there is really only one more thing we need to do, and that's get home. So, yeah, we got the science data. Spacewalk, scientific data, and we've entered orbit. Got some achievements. And then now the last thing that's part of this Explorer contract for us is to return to Kerbin. Although I am now remembering that this vessel isn't actually going to land there. Although, maybe we could make it. I gotta think about this, but in the meantime, I gotta start plotting our course for home. See ya in a second. So, nearly 2 years later, we got planets in the right alignment, and burning on the right part of our kind of wanky orbit. But we're good. We're ready for it. So let's, yeah, let's go. Got 4 days and 4 hours until we get there. Let me reset the focus back to the ship. There we go. Okay, so the burn is going to take about, well, not very long at all, I think. It's going to be another one of those, like, minute-long burns or something. Okay, just to make sure that I'm going to go forward and then cut out. Yep, 46 seconds, about what I expected. So, got 2 hours left. Oh, careful. Careful. Don't overdo it. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 20. Yep. Alright, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, give us a little extra time. Not that much extra time, I guess. And then let's go. That's about what I expected. We're going to be early again. This is going to be another one of those moments where we're going to be just barely there with the Delta V. And in the meantime, I've been plotting about what to do. I have several ideas. I can effectively send some parts up to orbit to the space station. If I can like dock this, because we have to return to Kerbin from a flyby, which means I think we actually have to land the vessel. Now, I don't think the engine power alone, maybe even on full fuel, would be enough to slow it down to land it properly. Not only that, but it doesn't have any lander legs. So, like, we would have, you know, best odds of putting it down in the ocean. But if I can bring up some parachutes and have the engineers put it on, that might solve the problem. I also passed the node, like an idiot. I wasn't paying attention. That's what happens when I try to talk and game at the same time. Alright. See how we did. No, there's something there. We're gonna have to correct it, obviously. That shouldn't be a problem. Okay. Off we go. Bye-bye, Eve. Escape the gravitational influence of Eve. It was holding us hostage. That's what gravity does. Holds people hostage. Okay. There we go. Alright, now we need another course alteration. Where's Moho, Eve, Gilly, Kerbal? Alright. Let's see what we can do here. Add maneuver. That's not the correct direction. Is this the... That's it. Okay, that's what we want. Actually gets us pretty close to equatorial. Up. Oh, there we go. There we go. Want to do as little with the engines as possible and see how much we can get done with just the RCS thrusters. That's good enough. It's 27 meters per second. We can use the fuel tanks for that. That doesn't look right at all. This is not what I was promised. Oh, that's why. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Is this gonna bring us in the wrong way? I think it will. Yes, yes, it definitely will, in fact. Okay, that was a mistake on my part. Excuse me. Because we're gonna be orbiting at the wrong direction here, so let's fix that. There we go. That's better. Alright, what's the periapsis? 73, that's too low. We're not trying to land now, we're trying to dock with the station. Seems like if I bring the pilots back, that should count as returning from Eve. I'm actually going to try that first. I'm going to try to bring the pilots home and see if that counts. Not retrograde, oh, it's technically retrograde, I guess. And I can actually just kind of... Can't I? Yeah, there we go. RCS. There we go. Let's push it a little further. See if we can't, like, looks like that's about as much as we can do. Not a lot we can do to equatorialize this from where we are. We're going to have to do that once we get there. Which is going to suck because we're not going to have enough fuel for it. I can see it happen already. But I mean, hey. Really, once we're in orbit, the worst is over because we can always just send a rescue mission up there to pick them up. Push comes to shove, you know, I got a shuttle out there anyway. Just pick them up, take them back to the station, put them on the Vision Pursuer, and worry about the rest later. Oh, careful. Alright, we're coming in. Quick save. Should have done that earlier. Reach. Okay, careful. We got 1,000 units of Delta V left. Let's see how much that's good for. So step 1, orbit. Piece of cake. Piece of cake. Okay, that's, you know what, that's actually good. I shouldn't have burned that much now that I think about it. Because now I gotta... try and even this out. Should probably do that from the other side now that I think about it. I might end up quick loading this. and try to get it right a second time. Oh, wait a minute. Is that our... Oh, man. It's not good, I'm afraid. Just barely, though. Alright, there we are. And we will run out of fuel before we can get it done. Okay, let me try this again. Okay, I'm going to deliberately leave the orbit somewhat elliptical this time. Sure, the station is our... No. Set it as target. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, now let's just straight up do this. Take the intersect right there. Add maneuver. We want to do this. There, and then we want to do this. Oh boy. Okay. Okay, let's even it out first. I think that's. Or just. All right, there. There. And then, Can we not do better? That looks better. How hard is that? Literally impossible. Okay, what can we do? Let's look at it this way. What can we do with the delta V we have left? Let's just start by getting us into orbit. Okay. That doesn't take much at all. And then what does it take to level this out? Too much. Okay. So, how about this? Orbit. 230, sure. And then here, do this. Can't see the node. 1 point, okay. Then maybe a little bit of this. A bit more of this. There. Wish I could see how much delta V that is, but it didn't feel like a lot, so we're going to try doing this. Just get rid of that one for now. Worry about that later. Burn's going to take, like, literally seconds. Yeah. Oop, okay. Then over here, just do one of these. $114. I can deal with that. It's going to be a 3-second burn, so extending the mission by a couple of years. How's our fuel looking? Yep. Alright. Like this. Oh, crap. Not right on the money, but close enough. How's our node looking? Minus 1 degrees. 1 degrees, I can accept that. Would this help anyone? Oh, it would. 1 looks like about as good as it's gonna get. Yep, okay, 0.1. Now, see if we have enough left to rendezvous. Intersect is right at periapsis. If you think this is boring, we still have a vision pursuer to land. Okay. Gotta be careful with how much fuel we burn here. How much delta V we use up. Basically, here's what's important. If I can create an intersect like this right now, let's just do that. Let's see what happens then. Okay. RCS a bit. Okay, and then the difference in speed, the delta V, is 500 meters per second. Just barely not enough. So then I gotta do maybe another lap. See if that helps. $395. Yeah, we're getting there. Maybe one more. Getting a bit closer. I'm actually going to just let it rotate. Now, let's bring this to... Nope. Okay, no. Actually, definitely don't speed us up, no. Do not ever do that. It only pushes it away. Okay, let's do another lap. Hang on. Well, here's what I got. It's the best I can do. We're going to be traveling at 30 meters per second relative to it by the time we get there. I'm going to have to rely on RCS. That's just about all I can do. Here's hoping. This could easily turn out to be a nightmare. Oh, yeah, that's way too quick. Okay. Target. Alright, RCS. RCS. RCS doesn't work if I do it that way. Oh crap. Okay, this is not impossible. This is not gonna be fun for you to watch at all, so I'm just gonna pause the recording here again and let's hope this works. Oh, okay. That's twice now that the RCS reaction control system has saved me in dire straits. Didn't even take that much monopropellant fuel at all. I doubled the monopropellant based on my previous design, but I also put on the weaker RCS boosters. So I think I could have used some stronger ones, would have saved me some time. But I mean, we did it. And I just got a dock. Shouldn't be too hard. Alright. There we go. Now we're out of alignment. Very out of alignment. That's fine. We are now good. All right. Sweet. Genius. And that pretty much concludes this space mission. I like these two rockets right there next to each other. Awesome. Okay, so next up, we're going to be carrying the crew home, see if that completes the contract. If not, well, we're going to have to create a vessel that can land. And that's probably just going to mean that we have to have a detachable capsule, or we can just, try to land this one. That's probably going to be easier. We got to reconstruct this vessel to bring at least the crew pod back home. For now, just give me a sec to pack up and move everything out there. Should be ready in just a sec. So time has been accelerated. The crew. I just realized I got all these shields open around here from places where vessels have previously been docked. Everybody's on board, as well as all the science experiments. We're pretty much ready to take off. Everything's in the right position, as well as Kerbal HQ. Flip ourselves over to retrograde. Valentina, Tomcan, bring us home. This is really what I like the best about this game, I think. I mean, going to other planets is awesome, landing on them too, but like flying actual spaceships, performing maneuvers, doing landings, it's just so fun. I like it so much. Okay. Now, once again, I have to try and remember what the what's the oxidizer. I can see where I want this arch to end, somewhere around here, I think. That's what I'm going to try. Come on. Come on, don't run out of fuel, please. Don't run out of fuel. Well, that's where we're going. Let's hope it works. Should have started a little further back, perhaps. Oh well. Let's flip over and see how this goes. Overshooting it by a lot, I can tell already. So that's pretty much a botch. I started the descent burn way too late. So what this means is we're going to be performing one of my patented aerial corkscrew maneuvers as soon as this burn finishes. Okay, so we're going into a nosedive here. Not very wise considering, but should do the trick. Look at that. Flipping right over. Kind of. Look at our prograde vector following us like a good little prograde vector. Who's a good little prograde vector? You are, that's right. Okay, now let's just hope that there's enough fuel in the Vision Pursuer to fly all the way back there. The answer, yes. Yes, there is going to be enough fuel. There is going to be plenty of fuel. You just kind of got to straighten us out, get us lined up with the runway, and everything should be fine. Everything's going to be fine, right? Of course it is. Alright. Final approach. Coming in at a bit of an angle this time. We don't have, that steep dive that we had the last time we did this. Have my speed to worry about, as well as my heading. Looks like we got this under control. Yeah. There we go. Okay, we can afford to dive a bit. We're still pretty high up. I get nervous every time this happens, by the way. I've never not been nervous during the landing of a jet. Come on. Come on. Landing gears and brakes. Just a little extra drag. We're slowing down very nice. Yeah. There we go. We got a little bit of air resistance coming up there as I do these flares. Coming in real nice and straight here. Okay. Bit low. Just a bit. We're coming in at a really nice speed though. Okay, here we are. Touchdown. No skid, no skid. Yep, skid. Okay. Nope, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to turn off the engines. Okay. Sometimes we're always going to kind of like do that little handbrake turn at the end, but you know what? I'm okay with it. We did it. We landed. We got a recovered vessel from another successful flight, and let's see if my contract is complete. It probably won't be. I got a lot of stuff done, so let's see what that is. Got a ton of science that we're never going to use. Got some, that's pretty much the entire spaceplane part we got back. We got all the costs, and then we get some crew levels up. These guys are tourists, so they don't count, but Carrig on her first flight. Tom Ken also on his first flight. So what do we get? Tourists, yeah, so, and the rescue carry thing as well. Okay, so no, Eve contract is not complete. Okay, so that means we got more thinking to do. We gotta build a ship that doesn't just dock at the station, but actually lands too. It's not actually that hard. I probably should have thought about this the first time, but you know what? We'll just do that with a probe next time. Can't wait. See you soon.